Hey, this is Daniel Norton. I'm here in my studio in New York City with Erica, and we're going to play with some gels today. So I get this question a lot about how to use gels, or maybe you want to use them and bring them into your work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about how to kind of set them up to create more or less saturation, right? Because that's kind of the thing. Like people say, well, I want to make my background, blue, but whenever I do it, it's not blue. Well, that's probably has to do with light infiltration or your power settings. So we're going to talk about that. I'm not going to light a background though. I'm going to light Erica, but the concepts will be the same. So essentially I have a couple of lights set up around me. I'm using some pro photo equipment. I've got some 1 foot by 3 foot strip banks here in the front. Each one of those is in a B1X. And then in the back I have my B2 with a 2 foot octagon with a grid on it. And I'll kind of introduce each light as we go, kind of telling you what they're doing. So we're going to start with this one. This is just a 1 foot by 3 foot. It's got a B1X in it, and I have it in I have my controller on top. I have that in group A. And currently, that will be the only light that I'll use, so I'm going to turn off the other groups. So this is just this light. Good to have the camera turned on. Here we go. Cool. So that's, as you would imagine, a nicely lit, even, neutral photo. On this light over here, though, which I have in group C, I actually have a red gel in that one. So I'm going to turn off my neutral light, and I'm going to just show you what the red does. As you might imagine, now Erica is red. Erica the Red, that was her pirate name. Now, what we can do a few things. If I were to dial the power, when you're working with such a saturated primary, if I start dialing the power up or down too much, I'm going to lose that channel. So essentially, I'll show you. If I go ahead and take channel C or light C and I turn it up, let's say 1 stop in power, this is going to get some crazy effects right now. Right? You can see that gets nuts. Right? You can see it over here. It's really starting to get some freaky kind of punchy color. So if you like that, that's how you do it. You overexpose a bit, right? If I wanted to just make it a little bit more subdued, I can maybe turn the power down. So this is turning it down a stop from the original shot. And now I've got this deeper, richer red, right? But maybe we don't want her to be completely red. Maybe we just want some red highlights or something. The way that you can help control that is we can actually use a neutral. So I'm going to turn A back on, which is this light. Again, it has no gel in it. Again, I'm just turning them on and off using my Pro Photo controller. Simple as that. So this is both the red gel and the neutral. And we can see that wherever the neutral light is hitting and overpowering is now skin tone, and wherever the shadows were is basically red. So we can compare it to this shot here, which is the fully red shot, right? So you can use that neutral to kind of wrap it up. And again, you can place it, I'm being very obvious with this because I want to demonstrate it for the video. You could get it so it just hits her in the cheek. You could get it so it's just on the edge of her hair. You can play around with it a lot. But actually what I want to do here is, I actually want to add a gel to this light and kind of cross-contaminate my colors to create kind of some interesting blends. Now, if you take two colors that are complementary, they'll actually neutralize each other. So if I could figure out this is like a magenta-ish red. If I'd gone with certain greens, it might have taken it out altogether, but I don't like to put green on people's faces. So I'm gonna go with blue. It's a nice blue color. I'm just gonna stick it right in here. So of course, when I put the gel in front of the light, it's gonna eat some of the light. I think this one eats about a stop or so of light. So I'm just gonna turn my light up to compensate. And we'll do a test shot here. There we go, that's pretty good. Now she's hot and cold, right? You know how it is. She's hot, but she's cold, right? So we gotta kind of mix like that. But we can kind of blend it, maybe shape her face. Yeah, exactly, turn a little bit to the side, right? And we'll just get the light where we want it, right? We can kind of play off with, play it off, let some of the blue drift across to that side, let some of the red come across, maybe bring your chin like that, good. Nice. Right, this will actually give us a way to shape her face and create some color where we want. And you'll see where the colors meet, it creates kind of really interesting color transitions and shape. Now turn towards the red one for a couple. Play around a little bit when you're doing this kind of stuff, see what works best for the person's face and for the concept you're going for. We can see there, that's kind of nice. The blue looks nice across your face. So So it should feel like that. You guys can see how they're blending together. And of course I can adjust my blue up and down. Let me make the blue a little bit brighter. So it'll probably blow out if I do this, but let's try it. Good. By the way, I should probably mention that you probably see in the video, I don't know if they can or not, but like she has this like beautiful hair light on her hair right now. That light's not doing anything. The daylight, that's coming through the window. My exposure is such that's not doing anything, unfortunately. It's the worst part and the best part of being in a daylight studio. You see the beautiful light, but you're not sure if you're going to use it or not. So that's cool, but I do have actually a hair light back there, which is, this has no gel on it, it's neutral. So I'm going to bring A back down to where it was, because I didn't really like how hot it was here. I felt like it was a little too bright. So I'm going to bring my A light back down. I turned on a backlight, which is a B. That should give us a little bit of a rim. Yeah, we can see that there. Right, so that's our neutral. So it should feel like that. Yeah, actually that's good. Go almost profile for me. Good. Yeah, we can see how that's, bring that around. And if I didn't like the red on her nose so much, which I don't, I'm gonna go do your face like that. I'm gonna move this like this. It's one reason why I love strip banks. You probably see me use them a lot because you can kind of just do a little adjusty action here. That should help keep some of the red off of her nose. There we go. Oh, a little bit. It's still on there a bit, so I think in order to get rid of that, I'm gonna have to bring this light around over here. This is what happens when you change plans in the middle of the video. Here we go. Cool, there we go. So now I've just got the red on her hair, and I've got this blue here, and this is a neutral over here. And I think in order to make this look a little bit nicer, I'm actually gonna move this guy over here. Again, this is like my neutral / separation light. I'm just bringing it around so I get a little bit more white light, if you will, on the front of her. Cool, and that helps blend that in. So now we've got like the neutralish light, we've got the blue over here, and then we've got the red in the back to give us some fun to play with. And now, yeah, there you go. Turn this way slightly. Good. That's nice. And what's nice here is, because I'm not letting too much red get around, we're actually getting shadow and just a little bit of red. Cool. So yeah, when you're working with gels like this, essentially you're thinking about how saturated you want each gel to be, where they're going to be relative to each other. So if you want to blend them together, you're also thinking about a neutral, like to kind of flatten out the gel color if you want as you're working through it. This concept is the same whether you're putting them on a person's face or their skin, or if you're going to put them on a wall. You can do the same thing with blends of color across a wall and play with that a little bit. So thanks, Erica. Make sure you check her out on Erica Lynn Bridge on Instagram. Be sure to check me out on all the different social media, Facebook, YouTube, Daniel Norton Photographer. Be sure to subscribe to Adorama TV, and I'll see you next time on set.